The snow lay thick on the peaks, blanketing the mountains in a pristine, bone-chilling white. The small cabin at the edge of the cliff looked abandoned to an outsider, but it was home to Ronan, a rugged mountain man whose presence was as imposing as the peaks themselves. His thick beard and weathered face told tales of harsh winters and lonely nights, yet his piercing eyes held a glimmer of a hidden softness, one reserved for no one. For years, the villagers had whispered about Ronan, calling him the mountain ghost, a man untouchable by society, a recluse whose heart seemed as cold as the mountains he inhabited. But today, that changed. Today, a bride had arrived. Her name was Eveline, a shy, delicate girl from the valley below. She had been sent to marry Ronan by her father, an arrangement meant to secure peace and alliance between the village and the mountain clans. Eveline's eyes were wide as she approached the cabin, clutching a small leather trunk to her chest. Snowflakes clung to her soft brown hair, and her pale cheeks burned with embarrassment and nervousness. She had heard the stories about Ronan, about his strength, his temper, and his isolation, but nothing could prepare her for the sight of him. Ronan stood at the doorway, a silent silhouette framed by the heavy wooden door. He studied her with an intensity that made Eveline shiver, yet she felt a strange pull, as if the mountains themselves had guided her here. Without a word, he stepped aside, letting her enter. The cabin was modest but warm. A fire crackled in the stone hearth, and the scent of pine and smoke filled the room. Eveline set down her trunk carefully, her hands trembling slightly. Ronan's eyes lingered on her, curious, calculating, yet unreadable. "Your room is ready," he said gruffly. His voice was deep and steady, but there was an undercurrent of tension. Eveline nodded, murmuring a quiet thanks. Night fell quickly in the mountains, and with it came a silence so profound it pressed against the walls and windows. Eveline's heart pounded as she prepared for her first night in the cabin. The traditions of the mountains dictated certain customs, and although she was shy and timid, she felt an odd sense of duty. But as she lay on the narrow bed, shivering under the heavy blankets, her mind churned with a secret she had carried all her life, a secret no one could know, not even her new husband. Eveline was not like other girls in the village. There was something unusual about her, something that had caused whispers and fear whenever she was near. A shadow she had learned to conceal, a truth she had sworn never to reveal. Meanwhile, Ronan paced the cabin, the firelight reflecting in his stormy eyes. He could hear the soft rustle of Eveline moving in the other room, the quiet settling of the cabin as the wind moaned outside. There was a part of him that felt anticipation, curiosity, and dread. The rumors he had heard about her had been strange, but nothing compared to the reality of having her here, so close, so human. The clock ticked slowly. Midnight approached. Finally, Eveline opened the door to her room, her face pale but determined. She walked toward Ronan, her hands gripping the trunk that contained not belongings, but the fragments of her hidden life. "Ronan," she whispered. "There is something I must tell you." Ronan's brows furrowed, a low rumble in his chest. "Speak, then. I've waited long enough for your words." Eveline opened the trunk, revealing objects that seemed ordinary at first glance. Small, intricately carved figurines, journals filled with strange symbols, vials containing colored liquids that shimmered faintly in the firelight. But Ronan's eyes widened as he recognized their meaning. You're not just a girl from the village," he said, disbelief heavy in his voice. Eveline nodded, her hands trembling. I'm a seer, Ronan. My family has guarded the knowledge of the mountains for generations. I can see things before they happen, things hidden in shadows. That is why I was sent to you. The village elders know that the mountains are stirring, and they hoped I could protect you. Ronan staggered back, his massive hands gripping the doorframe. He had faced storms, avalanches, and bandits, yet nothing in his life had prepared him for this. "A seer," he breathed. "You mean, you see the future?" Eveline's eyes glistened. "Yes. And tonight, I saw something terrible. A storm unlike any the mountains have ever known. It's coming for us, Ronan. And if we're not ready, it could destroy everything. For a long moment, Ronan could only stare, the weight of disbelief and awe pressing upon him. He had always prided himself on his strength, his ability to survive, yet here was a secret that dwarfed even his understanding. Then, something shifted. The stoic mountain man felt something he had not known in years: trust. He reached out, taking her hands gently in his large, calloused ones. "Then we face it together," he said. Eveline nodded, relief washing over her. For the first time, the fear and shame of her secret felt lighter. She had revealed her truth, and the man she had feared accepted her. Outside, the wind howled, snow whipped against the cabin walls, and shadows danced across the peaks. Inside, a new bond had formed, a fragile alliance of strength and foresight, courage and wisdom. The mountain man and the shy bride would face the night, not as strangers, but as partners, ready for whatever the dawn might bring. By sunrise, the storm would arrive. But tonight, in the quiet of the cabin, the secret that could have shattered him had instead forged something stronger: trust, unity, and a love born not of convenience, but of truth revealed in the cold mountain night. And for the first time in his life, Ronan, the unyielding mountain man, could smile. Not from victory over the mountains, but from the miracle of finding a companion who was not afraid to show him her soul.